So it's all about training the breath. Right now, you've trained your breath to be shallow, which has, of course, created shallow thoughts, which has led to shallow actions. So you've trained your breath from an early trauma because the baby, the infant used to breathe from the diaphragm, and it's apparent in all babies. You see the tummy rising as they inhale, and then you exhale and you press down on the tummy to get all the gases out. So most people have a ab problem because they have a gas problem, and the gas creates blockages in the brain, in the thinking, and everything. It's just, again, look at it like a car, and look at it like a house as well. So you train your breathing. You inhale slowly. You want to make it to where you can do it silently. You can inhale silently and exhale silently to where you just become the doorway, and the breath is the swinging door of in and out, and then you lose the perception of in and out. There is no separation. You're just this doorway that begins to vanish as well, because there is no medium, because there's no separating above and below. Every dimension is touching every dimension. So you training your breathing throughout your day. Right now, when you get up and you put something on your stomach that keeps your lungs compressed downward. If you eat something or you have a bunch of stuff in your lower intestines, it's not letting your lungs expand. The diaphragm can't expand. You can't get more oxygen to the blood. There's more blood at the bottom of the lungs. So if you breathe from the diaphragm, then you get more oxygen to more blood, which makes you heal faster, which makes you everything, makes you grow faster. If you are a child and anybody with a baby, just continue to stay on the youth with that, because the breathing controls everything else. Everything follows the breath. It's basically just the machine. The manifestation machine is the breath, and the way if your breath is going to seep out, the energy is going to seep to you and seep away, and it's going to always create that agony of just an agony. It's not going to be a constant, because if you control the breathing, then out is in is out. But if it's constantly seeping in and out and you're not conscious of it, then you don't know when your next meal is going to come, or your next job, or whatever, what have you. Like, the breath allows you to get perspective beyond. It allows you to get perspective beyond today, in this moment right now, because you are getting into this moment by now by controlling the breath. And that allows you to see the chain of course. If you're not in this moment, then you won't see the next moment, and you'll miss, and you'll constantly be catching up, trying to make up, because you're trying to get, so you forget, because you're all forgetting. So you're not giving to yourself. You're not caring about your own breath, which is your currency, because you're exchanging your breaths of life. You're selling your 20s to a job, which you're saying, I sold all the breaths of my 20s for this, and it manifested this for me. So that was the vehicle you used. You sold your breaths to a vehicle. And it's just, look at life like a house with only so many cars, and there's more people in the house than vehicles. So throughout life, somebody might take this vehicle, and you got to take care of it. Keep the air flowing, change the air filters, change the blood is like the oil. It's like the same thing. And then somebody else in the house will use it. And then you keep it in the family, you keep it going. It's the same thing with bodies. It's the same thing. If you control breathing throughout generations, then you control composure. Then you control your pulse through generations, though. Because again, the lower your heart rate is, the less air or less breaths you take in a minute, the lower your heart rate will be, the longer you'll live, the more conscious you'll be, the more aware of every moment you are, or the only moment, what have you. So ROYALT512 at yahoo.com for consultation, and R Bud Vegan on Amazon for the ebooks and for the paperbacks. And you can get the audiobooks, ROYALT512 at yahoo.com, LUCI_FER69 for the Instagram. So check that out. Check it in. It's all about controlling the breathing. And the healing sounds too, you can add that in there. You inhale, hold it for 15 seconds at the diaphragm. Try to be as quiet as possible. Then you exhale as slow as possible. And then when you get completely empty, the lungs completely empty, hold it for another 8 seconds. And as you get stronger, there will be no stress between the breaths. and then that just gets longer and longer, and then you have you're so strong that your period between breaths, when you have completely exhaled, is so long that you realize how little you need the breath, and then you can just go further and further up the ladder to where you get to a point where you no longer even need the breath. But that's beyond most people's perception. For now, you just want to control the breathing so your digestion speeds up, so your brain can think properly, so that you can heal faster, so you can feel better, so that your joints feel better because the blood is flowing properly and there's oxygen, and you can get rid of the old gases if you breathe properly. When the old gases sit around and it's just particulates hanging out, it's like old thoughts, because again, air is thought, water is emotion, fire is passion, earth is being rigid, stubborn, boundary, however you want to look at it, and ether binds it all, or melanin, what have you, dark matter, what have you. So to get in touch with your dark matter, you're going to have to go back up the ladder to less dense air, or less dense light, I should say. Excuse me. So that's the only way. You're trying to counter and compensate all the years of not breathing. And as you do that, the things that you felt like you will not, usually when you aren't prepared for something, you can't be ready for anything. But as you gear the body to be more prepared to harness more energy, experiences unfold for you that you were not capable of even fathoming before. And you realize how they were always there within you, the experience. The memories are always there within you. It's just that breathing unlocks the memories. And the breathing allows you to see the memories from the past or present, whatever, what have you. They're the same memories. It's just being able to see them from a different perspective, to where you can see the timelessness in them. Because you've been breathing, or you've been aware of this breath or this pulse of life since ever. And the family or the lineage, I don't want to say lineage because it's cyclical, and you are your ancestors are you. But the lineage has stepped away from being conscious of the breath or the breathing because of you having children out of fear. And then the fear just causes more shallow breathing, because greed is fear, every lust, pride is fear. Doing anything out of fear, that creates shallow breathing, and the shallow breathing perpetuates it. And the body loves that because it keeps it in a state of trying to stay comfortable. Because, you got to understand the body as a machine itself, and what it can see, and how you need to understand its placement, and how it will always feel what it feels and feel the way it feels. And that's the way you can have any perspective or reference point to what you would call right and wrong, because you know already what the body is, what it's going to give you, what it's, if you know your audience internally and externally, then you already know. And then as you breathe and you understand or understand what's yours and what isn't, what you've held on to that might not even be your tendency. And as your energy jumps up, then you remember the memories when your energy was high. You can only remember the high energy memories when your energy is high. So in those moments, you can tether yourself throughout existence. You can tap in further and further as your energy gets higher and higher. Then you need less and less sleep, because sleep is just catching up on your breathing. Sleep is just passing out so you can catch up on your breathing, so that you can process whatever that it is that you got behind, because you got anxious and got so caught up in looking out of your eyes that it made you hold your breath. And as you hold your breath, you stop giving to life, and then you forget.